Hello and welcome to another episode of the Business Spotlight series. My name is Claudia Thompson and today I'm here with Dan Dawkins, the Managing Director of the Woodlands Group and a former Royal Marine as well. So thank you so much for your time today and it's lovely to have you. Why don't you start and tell us how the Woodlands Group came to be?
So it started off with, I guess the precursor is probably easier. So having a construction background before I joined the military, I always wanted to develop into a point where I was doing property development. That was always the goal. So that was something I wanted to do before I joined, and then not long after leaving, I realised that was the direction I wanted to go in. So that was the first part to it, was to set up the property firm, and then the other elements to it, the intention of being a group of companies mutually beneficial to each other.
Yeah, and you said it there yourself. You started with one company and then now it's a group of companies. So there's definitely a lot of growth happening. What do you think is the secret to your growth?
Lack of sleep. No, I don't know. I probably don't have a great answer for that, to be honest. Why we've grown, I'm not, I probably couldn't put my finger on. That's probably for somebody else to look from the outside and say. All I can say is that we've just pushed to continue doing what we do.
And you're clearly doing it very well.
Thank you. Again, it's not for me to say. Certainly the construction side of things is really busy at the moment, which is really good because that's the side that I thought would be struggling the most, but it's not. So that's actually the one that's the busiest at the moment. So that's so that's really good, and the other two tick along in the background. So
amazing. And you probably can't build those businesses by yourself, and there's a team behind you. So what would you say, what qualities do you look for in employees?
Reliability as a number one. There's no point in having really talented people if they're not there, which is a key one. I kind of want people to be there. I don't just want them to be a follower. Any around me, I want them to have their own kind of drive and purpose. If they need constant direction, they're not really for me, because if I'm having to constantly direct, then they're essentially doing the legwork. And I'm pushing them. I want people to be. To be motivated and to have the initiative to do things off their own back without having to constantly look for something.
That makes sense. So reliability, autonomy, I guess a bit of confidence that comes with that. And on the flip side,
I think that confidence then comes with those things. I think is probably
well, then I guess being in an environment where that is encouraged as well, to make sure they know that they are free to make those decisions.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And on the flip side of that, what would you say have been your biggest learnings as an employer?
Probably that people are unreliable typically, and this is me talking about the construction side of things. That people can be quite unreliable, and you have to constantly be fluid to adapt to people not being there. I think is probably the and I say that's more aimed at the on-site construction side of things. That tends to be if you of everything that I've ever been involved in, the amount of employee attendance issues I've ever had has always been from a operational construction side of things. Most other things people tend to just come to work, but it seems to be the construction side where people are the worst. so yeah, I think I think it's just, you need to remember as well that people have their own stuff going on, and you have to respect that. If people have got problems doing whatever they're doing, that it is what it is. There's no point getting upset about it. So yeah, I think the not expecting people to have the same work ethic as you is probably the big one. And I think that's where a lot of business owners, particularly small business owners, fall down, is because they assume that all of their employees will have the exact same work ethic as them, and they'll do 70-hour weeks. But in actual fact, they want to do 8 hours a day if that's what they're contracted to do, and they'll do a bit more occasionally if you ask them to, and as a favour, and even if you pay them more. But generally speaking, they don't have the passion and the drive for the business that you do. They're just there as a job. And I think if you recognise that from an early part of it, I think you shouldn't have too many issues.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I hear a lot from the businesses that I work as well. So the fear that they employ new people, they won't have the same work ethics, they won't have the same vision for the business as well.
And unfortunately, that's just the nature of the beast. That's the nature of the beast between people that start companies and people that work for companies. It's not a bad thing. It's nothing. It's not it's not detrimental to them as a character. If they had that same drive, they would be running their own business. And that's not to say that they don't have drive. They have drive for what they do day to day. But if they were invested enough to have your work ethic, then they probably will eventually go and start their own business. And again, from a construction perspective, that's a really hard thing. A lot of the tradespeople that you get who are really, really good ultimately want to go and start their own business. That's what they do. It's what I did. So I started as a carpenter many years ago, and that's what people do.
Yeah. And you said earlier that a lot of the staff, they have their own things going on the side as well. But you surely must have your own things going on. And in fact, I hope it's okay for me to say, but you just became a father yesterday. You just had a little one.
It's our second one. So yeah, father.
The second one, yeah.
Time, yeah. So
yeah. Well, congratulations for that.
Thank you.
But yeah, so how do you personally balance the demands of running a business with the demands of being a family man?
I have blocks of time, which I just those are no-go areas for particularly from sort of 5 till 7:30 p.m. each evening. Those are absolute no-go zones for work. That's time for family and everything else for that finite amount of time that you get with the little ones during the week. And then at 7:30, then open the laptop again and probably start working. But yeah, I have kind of no-go areas where it's just no work is happening.
And how do you make sure they are no-go areas?
Just stick with it. Just if you get emails and texts and things like that, just don't answer them until don't even open them until later. Because as soon as you open that email or that text, you want to reply to it. So just don't open them. And most phone calls come through the business line, so that doesn't work out of hours. So that's fine. So everything that I do get in the evenings and in and out of hours, as it were, it's very much it's in a text format. So it can be it can be pushed down the road by a few hours before responding to it without any real issues. And weekends, I try and do at least one again for family time, at least until the evening.
Fantastic. That's a really good time to make sure you ring fence that time off and make and allow time for the things that really matter. Really useful reminder. If you had to start again from square one in business, what would you do differently?
Do it sooner. Start earlier is the and it's very easy to say. I should have done it 10 years ago or whatever. But it is very easy to say because your path builds you as a person and gives you the tools that will make you successful. But that's if I was to start again, it would be to start sooner, rather than working for other people, I think.
That's a very, very good thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be it. Yeah, I think I don't think that's probably the one that I should have done it earlier.
Okay, good reminder for anyone watching this. If you're thinking about it, just do it.
There is that, you know, there will never be a right time. You will never be 100% prepared. You will never understand every element there is about whatever you have chosen. Even if you've been doing it, working for somebody for 10 years, you're doing it as the business owner is completely different. You're never gonna know all those things until you take that step for it. Just as long as you're pretty confident, 75%, 80% confident, just do it. And there's so much help out there these days for it sounds ridiculous. Google it. You don't know about it, you don't know about invoicing, or you don't know about a certain tax thing. Just Google it. The information is there. And videos like these, videos on YouTube, the information's out there. So, and then worst case scenario, ring your accountant. They might want to charge you some money, but the help is there. But there will never be a perfect time. You just got to take the step, I think.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. And yeah, so if someone's really 75% sure, there's a lot of networking groups out there as well, where lots of other business owners are happy to answer questions. I'm obviously always here to help anyone who's thinking about anything. So yeah, that's a really good thing to put out there. So yeah, and what would you say are some common misconceptions that people have about running a business?
That it can be done within kind of the 9 to 5 working day. It's probably the biggest misconception. People think that you're going to start a business and you'll work a normal work day. If only. But that's the difference, and it's your risk for your gain, isn't it? But yeah, I think people think that again, from the construction side of things, people think that when site work's finished, that's you finishing work, but it's not. If it's 11 o'clock when you finish, you'll be lucky. So yeah,
fun. Yeah, again, very true. So many people end up with a job, but they think they have a business, but it's really just a job again. Yeah.
And that's the thing. And I think there's a reel on social media about it that I didn't want to work for somebody anymore, so I worked for myself, and now I work 24 hours a day. And it's like, it's true. It's true. Yeah, it's absolutely true.
It's very true. Fantastic. That already wraps up the interview. How can people find out more about you? How can they get in touch?
So through the construction website is probably the easiest thing, or LinkedIn as well. Obviously LinkedIn, you have to sort of request on LinkedIn, but yeah, through our website, which is woodlands-construction.co.uk. Woodlands with an S.
Fantastic. Yeah. Cool. Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time today, Dan. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.